welcome to episode number 107 of the Eavesdrop podcast. We have a man, Tommy Zuma. Last time you were here was 6 months ago.
Yep.
As I said, like everybody's projection of your trajectory as to where you were going to be by the time you went full time is exactly where you're at. I think better. Because I didn't I knew that that you were gonna fucking pop off, but not at the level that you're popping off right now. How does that feel?
Dude, it happened really, really fast.
Yeah.
You know? So it was kind of overwhelming at first. Like, at first I was like, oh my God, like, don't let up, stay consistent. I feel like right now, like, consistency is, like, the key.
Yeah.
You know? So it was definitely overwhelming, but I'm getting used to it now.
Yeah.
I just feel like getting into, like, a better schedule is, like, it's just a different lifestyle from competing.
Yeah.
You know? And that's all I did for, 10 years?
Yeah.
So I'm like...
I mean, the regimented discipline that you have to be a competitive Call of Duty pro player is definitely one that needs to be admired, because it's not just you, it's you plus 5 more people, whether it's your teammates, your coaching staff, whatever. Like, that all goes into how difficult it is to really keep up with something like that. Content, however, as strict and regimented and disciplined as it also is, you're only worried about yourself and you know, Ben maybe, right, as the other one.
Yeah.
But it's definitely like tough also, right? It's not something that like, at least with competition, you are there and you're gonna give it your all with your devices. With content, you're relying on people continuously showing up for it.
Yeah, right.
Bro, that's
right.
so insane.
Yeah.
That's so insane.
And that's the thing too, is you never know how many people are gonna join up in the stream. You never know, what your next day is gonna look like. And sometimes it's a good thing. Sometimes it's a good day. Sometimes it's a bad day. I think you just can't let the bad days get to you. Like,
What are bad days for you nowadays, right? Like, they're not really.
None, really.
None.
I think when I first started, I had bad days.
Yeah.
But now I just feel like we're getting into a rhythm now.
Yeah.
So
I mean, Rostermania helps, right?
Yeah, the roster mini helps, but hey, it's not even like what's killing it right now is the GTA streams.
Yeah.
Those are killing it right
Hell
now.
yeah.
But Rostermania helps. I think drama always helps a little bit.
Oh yeah.
But that was one thing I told Ben. I was like, I don't want to be like a Keemstar show. Like, I never had that. I just wanted to talk COD.
Yeah,
I just wanted to bring people on, talk about COD, like talk about the matches. I'm sure people are like, the drama helps you, this and that, and sure, it definitely does.
Yeah, but it's not. You were doing this before, like, Rostermania, so like, they can't just attribute what it is.
Yeah, honestly, it just kind of makes me a little uncomfortable. Like, I just
Wait, what part?
Just like when players come on, they start drama. Like, I don't want players to feel like when I ask them to come on that I'm looking for, like, drama.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Do you tell them that?
No, well, I talked to. I mean, there was one guy I talked to. I mean, I don't want to mention any names, because I keep it private. But I definitely talked to some people because drama happens after the show from something they said.
Ooh.
And I'm just like, I say something to them. I was like, like, I don't want you to feel like you can't come on because I'm just looking for drama. Because it could just be like a question Ben asked leaded to something.
Yeah. Because you never know what they're gonna say, right?
Yeah, right. You don't know. You can't control what people say. So sometimes I get a little anxious because I don't want people to feel like I'm using them for drama.
Yeah. But there's also like part of the show, and it's not like these are like young impressionable kids that you're bringing on. These are professional Call of Duty players that have been through a certain level of contracts and understanding of what business is and how it works.
Yeah.
Not only that, but the amount of training that everybody in this space has had over the last decade as to how to act in front of the camera. Like, you can't expect to babysit fucking everyone, right? You can't, especially call it Crim 6, call it whoever, right? Whether it's Clay or whoever else comes on there that wants to talk, like, you can't censor them either. If they want to share something, that's between them and whoever they're sharing shit about. You're there to do your show. If somebody comes on and says something that, that's not on you.
No, it's not. It's just, that's something I had to deal with, like, early on, like, getting used to that feeling, like, getting used to being around that kind of stuff. Like, doing a show like The Flank, you're going to have things like that. Like, even when we had to shut down the show, when Ben walked away and said some dumb stuff, like...
Well, I don't think like, even then...
like, stuff like that.
Yeah, those mistakes, and I feel bad for Ben, I feel bbad for Adam, I feel bad for Johanna, right? Because, like, Johanna is, like, she's up there, right? So, it's the whole way that went down.
Yeah, it was bad.
But it was a good moment in the flank.
I thought it was a good moment. Yeah, I thought it was a good moment. But it again, drama is good, but at the same time comes with its problems, you know? So I definitely felt bad for everybody around, but there was nothing we could have done at that point. And I don't want to shut down a show or anything like that.
No, you can't.
I would never do that.
You can't. You owe it to your fans not to shut down the show.
Right. Right.
It's just not the way. I'm hype. I've always envisioned that at some point or another there was going to be a night show, right? A Jimmy Kimmel-esque type of night show. And I think that the evolution of what we're going to see on what you do and the other people that are going to inevitably start doing it, because that's how it goes. When somebody starts doing something, like think about React videos. When somebody started doing React videos, we started doing React videos. I did React videos. Like that sort of thing. Yeah. And we tested it when I first let our cities go to FaZe. Like I sat down in front of the camera and I said the reason that I let this guy go, and bro, that shit got like 200,000 views. You know what I mean? So like I know that if I sit down in front of the camera and sort of give my opinion on certain things, like that's gonna be the way. And the amount of people, by the way, that fucking blame me for FaZe fucking winning. Nah. Think about the same amount of people that would have been so mad at me if I would have done the right business decision. Because not only did I let him go, right, but I let him go for free, which is not what you're supposed to do in this business, right? One, it's not bad. It's not good business for me personally, but it also sets a standard for other businesses that I'm affecting now because, hey, Optic did it or Huntsman did it at the time. Then sort of I sort of put other owners in different positions, right? So like I have to. I did that just because I've always been like that. If you don't want to be an Optic, or if you don't want to be like here, like I understand. This place is not for everyone. Doing content is not for everyone. The way that I run things is not for everyone. And when I see people talking about if Hector concentrated more on winning instead of friendships, like they would be winning. I'm a motherfuckers. We have the most championships in Call of Duty ever. As a team, and we also built something. And also, with your opinion of that, of disregarding content the way that you are, you don't understand the business, right? Like, I don't know how to. I choose not to sort of.
You just gotta ignore that stuff, honestly. I mean, it's just such that's stupid shit, you know. Like I feel like at that point, the more success you get, the more hate you're gonna get. You know.
Yeah. I don't know if they understand what they're saying. Like they don't understand like what would happen if we don't create content. Like where the fuck do they think the viewership comes from? You know what I mean? Like
content's important. Content's really important.
Yeah.
It's the only way you show personality. You know, it's the only way you get people out there. So. And everybody loves content. I feel like everybody wants to see content. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and everybody wants to see Call of Duty, right? Like everybody wants to see Call of Duty succeed. But Call of Duty will not succeed if we don't do things the way that we do things, period, right? Like you can see the discrepancy in viewership already, right? I mean, now that you and the subliner, or you as the subliner, what is it, content creator now, pro player then, like now you're adding to that, right? Now you're adding to that. You're adding to that influence of subliners, right? Like you're having these moments that's going to help, but imagine if somebody says, well, subliners are more interested in taking care of Zuma because he's the big draw. Like, do they not understand like what happens if people don't buy subliners jerseys or don't buy you know what I mean? Like it all has to do with each other. Yeah, and I don't know. People seem to not understand that. And like even like when you talk about drama, like there are different kinds of drama. The way that you're doing it is like I personally like. I have zero issues with it because you're doing it the wrong way, the right way. The wrong way would be for you to literally only focus on that and spill beans and fucking tell everybody else's business. That is drama.
Right, and that's what everybody wants. Like half the time I'm live, they're like, yo, spill the beans, spill the intel. And I was like, listen, that's not what I want to do here. Yeah. Like, if intel gets released, I'm going to talk about it because why not? Like, if it's public information, then I have no problem talking about anything.
Not only do you not have a problem, like you have a duty to tell your audience your perspective
on it. And I want to that's what I want to do, but I don't want to go out there and like expose like little stuff and tell everybody's business to the world. Like that's not what I want to do. And again, if something happens like on the timeline, like I'm not gonna go live and be like, point it all out. Like, I want to make sure I have enough for a good full episode, and I don't want to just focus on little bits of drama.
How long are they usually? Do you stick to
vary,
a program,
like,
or?
No, we just go with the flow. Like, some of them are like an hour, some of them are 2.5 hours. Like, it depends. Sometimes we just get caught, like lost in like a conversation. Yeah. Which I think are like the best episodes. Like, the best episodes are the ones that are just kind of off the dome, and you just get caught in a conversation, and everybody gets super invested. And that's why I also like doing the show in TeamSpeak, because then you have pro players who are in the chat, and then they're just like, some pro players want to say something, so they join in the TeamSpeak. Everybody starts flooding in. I just think it's entertaining. Like, I just think having that TeamSpeak atmosphere, like that gamer atmosphere, like kind of what goes on behind the scenes.
Yeah, you're a fly on the wall. That's what you're providing.
Yeah. It's just finding that niche that isn't on Twitch, especially for COD. You know what I'm saying?
What would you say are your top 5 favorite flank moments right now, like so far?
Top 5 favorite flank moments? That's tough. That's really tough. I mean, it's always really good when New York wins. So those are really good when New York has like a big win. Yeah. And going live like right after a big New York win is cool. I think probably with Ben. Ben does a lot of stupid shit. I can't think of top 5 moments right now, like 5 moments. I had to go back. But Ben does a lot of stupid shit. Yeah. He does a lot of dumb shit.
Bro,
I love Ben, bro.
I always told both of you that you two needed a show, bro. Because when
you always did say that.
When both of you were here, and I would see like the banter between you two, I would be like, that's a show waiting to fucking happen.
And that's sometimes I feel like people, like, they always want so many guests. Like, when we first started the show, it was just me and Ben. Yeah. And people loved it. Yeah. And then we started getting guests on. Like, we'll bring on Zinni. Like, I love bringing on Zinni and other people. Yeah. I think after a while, though, with so many guests, like, everybody just always wants guests all the time. But I think people forget that when it's just me and Ben, it's a good show. It flows better, too. You don't have a lot of people talking.
That's something that a lot of people need to focus on, right? Like, you can't rely on other people, right? Like, let's say it's a travel day, and you have to make it about you and Ben, right? Everything else is bonus cherry on top stuff, because you can't rely on people that aren't a part of the show to be a part of the show every single time you need them. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think that you guys have done a fucking tremendous job of doing that.
Hey, man. I think it just flows better when it's just us two. It's just less people talking. We're on like Spotify and Apple and all that stuff now too. So when you listen to it over audio, it's just good to hear like everybody talk without everybody like talking over each other and people going. Sometimes I have like 7 guys in there, you know, or just going nuts, and you can't even understand what people are saying. So I'm just like, okay, let's calm it down.
Do you have the power to mute people?
I could, but I don't want to just do. I don't want to mute people when they're saying. I think eventually I'll just be like, I'll try and control it. Like, everybody quiet down. That's the hardest part. Is like,
dude, I'm telling you, getting a mute button and you controlling it and enforcing it is so good, because then you can drive the conversation even better and not manipulate it, but drive it in the way that you want to go. Because if you know that Zinni has a really good point that he's about to make, and you know that Octane is about to come back at him, then you could be like, whoa, chill out, Octane, hold on, let him finish, and then now the focus on Zinni, and then immediately unmute him, mute Zinni, and then or mute him when you need to.
Because they can't talk.
Mute him when it's there. But people talking over each other is pretty
Can you
cool.
imagine what Zinni's gonna say when I mute this guy? He's gonna flip out. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? He's gonna go nuts,
dude. Yeah, I think him is like he hasn't played pro in like 6 months, I think, right?
Yeah, he hasn't played since the beginning of the year.
So like I think him is like, he is also like a very good personality that does a good part of your show. Clayser, always well spoken, good fan base. I think that he himself also commands. And look, I get the whole like, I'm a pro player, but man, I you, now that you've accomplished what you've accomplished and are continuing to accomplish and are going, because you're just starting, dude. Think about
It's only been 6 months, man. It's only been half a year. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I think about that. If I stay consistent for 2 years, how far can I actually take it? Yeah. I think that's the hardest part, is staying consistent, because people don't realize like how draining it actually is, especially for me. Like, I'm not just doing the flank. Like, I'm streaming like 10 to 12 hours a day, which is like not really the best lifestyle. Like, if you really think about it, like, after a while you get super drained. Yeah. I'm moving to California. So
what part?
I'll be in LA.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll be in LA. I think once I'm in LA, I'm gonna try and get myself on a little bit of a better schedule. You know what I'm saying? Try and maybe do like 6 hours a day. Focus on the show, make sure I'm getting up early, like not streaming till 4 or 5 a.m. You know.
And is the flank typically? Have you done any morning flanks, or is it typically just at night?
No, we usually do it. We've done some early afternoon, around like 1 or 2, but never in the morning. Which is something we might look into, especially now during the off season. We wanted to roll out with some different stuff. We'd love to have you on.
Absolutely, bro. You name it.
Yeah. We'd love to have some other people on because it's the off season, so we want to mix it up and just get different people. Because during the season, we're going to be talking about all the matches, so I feel like we can get creative right now. But consistency is just the main thing.
Yeah, that's the toughest part, and how you hit the ground running is commendable, dude. Because it is tough, and committing to not only just streaming your show, but also streaming before that, and sort of expanding your repertoire into different things is like the hardest part that people don't see. Most people would say, I have the flank and I am the flank, and that's it.
Right. I'm
not going to give you more of me. You want to see me? Go to the flank.
And then even finding the right group of people to work with, because I need help, like with the YouTube, like people posting clips. Like I want people posting clips 24/7. Like I want my.
But you have to own that. You cannot allow.
I own it all.
Okay.
I own it all. I'm just saying, the people to help me out. Like I'm gonna need people to help me out when I'm streaming, because if I'm streaming 10 to 12 hours a day, like I need somebody uploading to my YouTube. Like I have a guy right now, his name is Vals, and he's been doing like a great job. And I didn't get him at first. Like in the beginning, I was working with people and they weren't doing the job how I wanted it to be done. They were great people, but I need people uploading every day.
Yeah.
Like XQC does it the best, I feel like. He just uploads like 4 or 5 times a day. Like he has somebody doing it.
Yeah.
So I just wanted somebody like that. And then like a graphic designer on the clock. Like say something happens, like something hits the timeline. I need a graphic made instantly. I need stuff made instantly. So I found a good team, and it wasn't always like that. Like the first 2-3 months, I just kept rotating people in and out because people couldn't like do the job the right way.
Well, that's good.
But now I got everything set. Like the team that I have is absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
So I'm very happy with it.
Good. You got to hold them accountable, right? Like as much as what we do is fun, like a job needs to be done. And if you're not that dude, you got to. And it's not a matter of I don't like you no more. It's just that I don't like you as my business partner in this project that we're working on.
And that was like the hardest part for me because they were all nice people.
Yeah.
I was like, listen, man, like I think you do great work. I just need it to be on a more consistent level.
And you're not right now.
And some people are just busy. They might have a job, and that's completely fine. If you don't have time for it, it's fine, man. Go do what you got to do. I just wanted to find somebody that can just do it full time around the clock. And luckily I found that. So, I'm keeping my team close because I feel like I got a really good team right now.
Yeah. It's good. I mean, again, you filled the void that was needed from the beginning, right? You filled the void that that I've been fucking preaching. More pros need to, and you know what's messed up, man, is that the problem here is that it isn't just in Call of Duty, right? Like there are a lot of people that are only focused in call it Valorant, call it Counter-Strike, call it whatever the fuck you want to call it. There are people out there that don't realize that there's a timeline on this thing. And that you're a player. You are at the whim, and you said something, right? You said that the players have the power, right? And it's true to a certain extent. It's always been the case on my side because I've understood my place has always been to sort of guide people into building a brand for everyone, but at the same time, like roster decisions, roster changes. Like I'm not in the team speak. I'm certainly not in the middle of a game.
Yeah.
I don't know who's committed, who's not committed, but there are a lot of factors that go into determining the fact that you're not in control of your life. Right. Like right now, you're in control of your life. Right now, you are in control of how much money comes into your pocket on a weekly basis, daily basis, monthly, whatever. Pro players, think about how many pro players are no longer pro players this upcoming season because of, and I'm not talking about retirement and all that stuff, right? Like luckily for us, we've always been and done a very good job of sort of helping people like be more than just pro players. Like that's, I've always wanted it. I've always said it throughout the years. My job has always been to make sure that people are making a living and they are able to pay their bills whether or not they win a fucking tournament, right? I took these kids from high school. They didn't go to college, so it was my responsibility to teach them how to make money and not rely on winning a championship to pay your fucking bills.
Right.
And a lot of people think they are invincible. I think that a lot of people think that they're going to be around forever, and that's not the case. You don't even know, right? Like you had to retire because of your thumb.
Yeah, it can happen overnight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Could break your hand. Next thing you know, you're not getting picked up.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. It's
How do you
crazy.
do you tell like your peers like because they
I tell them, but the thing is just some people don't like doing content. Like it's hard. Like content's not easy to do. You know, sometimes people are just uncomfortable in front of a camera. They're not themselves. They don't know how to be entertaining. Some people it's just natural to them. You know, so it's just I feel like content's not for everybody.
Yeah. But what do you do though?
Well, see, that's the thing. Like, I definitely think people should at least give it a try. And there's players who don't even try to do anything, or at least post pictures.
Yeah.
Like, you know, try and build a brand at least. You know, some pros don't barely post on social media, which I think we're in gaming. Like, we're all online. Like, I feel like you should be on socials.
Like
a lot.
have an opinion.
Yeah, have an opinion. Like, don't be scared to talk. Don't be scared to be a personality in the scene. You know, like let people know who you are. Come out of your shell a little bit. And sure, that's harder for other people, right? I think some people are just shy. Like some people don't want to come out of that shell, but I don't know. I think for some people, it's just content's not for them. There's other routes you can take, whether that's coaching or analyst or GM or whatever. But those jobs are hard to grab too. It's not like you could just like retire and just be like, yeah, I'm gonna go be a GM. Like some people might not even get those opportunities.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So.
But think about a scenario in which you're no longer playing, but I am. If I have a budget of X, and if it's between you, who's not playing, and a pro player that's asking for too much, I'm gonna take a challenger, dude, and keep you because you're bringing eyeballs, you're bringing sales, you're bringing shit that matters. The amount of people who believe that winning championships is all that it's ever gonna take for you to build a brand. That's 10 years down the line, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's 10 years down the line. We're not there yet. When people complain, pro players, right? When they talk about, it's like, oh, dude, if we have another year of online, he's like, I'm going to go crazy.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck is the alternative? You'd rather just not play? Think about how asinine that sounds.
I agree with you, man. I agree with you. I think that's crazy when people were complaining about online. Some people are like, we might as not even play. Like, might as well just sit out. Like, and do what? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
because we're not paying you. I'm not fucking paying somebody who's not doing work.
We were blessed enough during a time like COVID and all that stuff to even be rolling out the league still.
Yeah.
Like, to still be having matches, still be playing, all the players to be receiving their salaries and playing the game. Like, but you get to do what you love. You know what I'm saying? Like, sure, it might not be perfect, and it's might not be what you're used to. You know, playing on LAN and being in front of a crowd, but that'll come back, which it already has. You know, that was something that was always talked about, but. People like the bitch, you know.
I just don't get it. Like, how many times in this fucking office, I'm like, what the fuck is what's the alternative? What would you rather be doing? Because there is no other thing. You're either competing online or you're not competing at all.
Yeah.
And if you don't compete at all, guess what happens to our scene? Because I'm not going to continue to fucking pay you if you're not fucking doing I'm certainly not going to pay you to be a fucking pro player. I'll pay you some to be a content creator for sure.
Yeah.
But pro player salaries, like, fuck that. You're not gonna get that.
Yeah.
And
and they're also inflated. I feel like some pro player salaries are like crazy.
Did you see who was it? I saw it on Instagram, like the comparison of like what leagues pay, the salary comparison where NFL pays 50% of the money that comes into the league goes out to the players, and in Call of Duty is like 300% what the league makes. Yeah, it's nuts. It's inflated, but at the same time, there is no other industry, or there's no other esport like Call of Duty.
No, there isn't.
Call of Duty, for what it's worth, has a community that's unlike anything else.
I love it, man. I love it.
Yeah, it's WWE. It's Jersey Shore. It's Hard Knocks. It's all of it combined. I mean,
it's just fun, man.
Yeah,
it's just fun.
I mean, compare it to something else, right? Look at Counter-Strike. No offense to Counter-Strike at all. Obviously, I love Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
But like the amount of characters that exist there are not the way that they exist here. This is filled with big, massive personalities who have not only a following, but 10 years of history of drama that people remember and will remember for fucking as long as this thing goes around.
Right.
So
why do you think that is? Like, why do you think COD is like that compared to all the other esports? Because it is like that. It definitely is like that. You're not wrong.
Content. Call of Duty is the only game that started when YouTube started. When YouTube first came about and became a thing, the Grizzes of the world, the TNMs of the world, the Optics of the world, the Hutches, the Zenanners, the Sidemen, the Vic Stars, like all of these people, PewDiePie, like all of these people started in Call of Duty, and they were creating Call of Duty content. I mean, back in those days, I saw very minimal Counter-Strike content. I saw very minimal Halo content. I saw very minimal content that wasn't specific to Call of Duty elsewhere. And I think people thought that because Call of Duty was such a big franchise, and by that time we had already built sort of a fan base, that people are like, oh, Call of Duty is the thing that you need to go, right? But then you see people like, what the fuck is this dude's name? Anyway, they started creating, they expanded, right? They went from Call of Duty to Minecraft, the way that we did, right? They went from Call of Duty to Grand Theft Auto, you know? Yeah. So it expanded and it went elsewhere, and those personalities started to grow with it. But that is why, because we were the first adapters of the YouTube. We were the first adapters, early adapters of Twitter. Like everything that happened, we said, fuck websites, fuck opticgaming.com, fuck Optic TV. If I have an announcement to make, it's going to be on our Twitter account, right? We wanted to hyper-focus communication on that. So it was Twitter and in tandem, obviously YouTube, right? Because you have to take care of both. And the more that platform started to become a thing, Twitch or Justin TV comes along, then it started to become a platform. Bigger and bigger. Now that becomes the third platform that you have. Instagram, Instagram's funny to me because it has its place, obviously, but to reformat your content to fit that audience is not only difficult, but it goes against everything that you know, right? Because it's just a photo or a video. It's only a minute long. Unless you go, it's just so complicated that it makes it tougher.
And then you have TikTok now too.
Yeah, TikTok. Yeah, of course.
TikTok's like blowing up.
Yeah.
You know, like my For You page is a lot of gaming. Like definitely, like I see a lot of people posting clips on there, and doing really well too.
Yeah, I think our audience has been trained to follow YouTubers. You know what I mean? So because of that early start in YouTube and that's why Call of Duty was able to become who they became, right? We had a lot of people pushing not only Call of Duty from a competitive level, but also from an entertainment level. Yeah. Some of us did both, and that's why we had success in it. And it wasn't a secret, right? Like it was wide open. It was wide open for everybody to see the blueprint and just, you know, add their little twist to it and then and do their thing. Right. So that's what it was. That's why we're different, and that's why we'll always be different. You know how much it will take for any other esport to sort of do what we do? Nothing. It would literally take them starting, and it'll blow up. If somebody out there, whether it's Jason R or fucking Saunders or anyone in Counter-Strike starts the CSGO flank at night and talks about that, it's gonna blow
probably
up.
Do good.
100%. 100%. It's just a matter of trying, especially if it's a big personality.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, man. Like when the whole hand situation thing happened, I was thinking a lot, you know, because I was like, what am I gonna do? Like, let's try and come up with something. Obviously, I want to do something a little bit out of my comfort zone. Yeah. So I felt like the flank was definitely like that. But that was what I always thought, you know, what's something that's not in COD? What's something that's going to twist heads? How can I bring everything together into one thing? Yeah. Because all the teams, all the franchises, all the personalities, they all come together on the show. So I can't believe that I got lucky enough that nobody did that. You know what I'm saying? I was actually, like, I was talking to Ben the other day. I was like, I'm surprised that nobody did this before us.
Nobody fucking listens to me.
Well, see, me and Ben always kept it on the low. Yeah. Because you always talked to, you said it, Eric Anderson from FaZe has mentioned me and Ben doing a show before. But we always kept it on the low because we never wanted anybody to copy us. I think people have come close, like the Codcast. Nameless has done the Codcast, which is really good.
Consistency.
Yeah, and that's where the consistency comes in. I don't think Nameless wasn't doing post-game stuff like we were doing. Like, we go live as soon as the match is over.
But he could have, though.
He could have. He definitely could have. And if he would have done that, I don't know what would have happened to him, you know?
I I think there's room for everybody personally. Well, maybe not everybody, right? Because there's only so many eyeballs on this thing. But I do think that Nameless would have evolved into something like the Flank. It's just inevitable. That is where sometimes people don't realize that the show often guides you to where you want to go. It's a combination of the symbiotic relationship between what you're putting out there and the crowd reacting to it. And little by little you start to change. Little by little you start to change until you have the formula that, one, you're happy with because you're having fun doing it, and two, the crowd's obviously fucking all about it because of how it's happening. So when I say that people don't listen, it's like this is not rocket science. Like my plans for what I'm about to fucking do next is just going and filling every single void that's in the space right now.
Right.
Period. Right. So as much as I've wanted to do, bro, the amount of shows that I have in my head that aren't currently being made, I've been thinking about this for fucking 4 years. You know what I mean? Like I've been thinking about what when I first sold Optic, like I went into what is the new Optic going to look like, and I sat down and I'm like, okay, this is where this needs to go. Ultimately, history happened and it happened the way that it did, but I had a vision and a plan as to where this was going to go and how we were going to get there. So as we continue to go down this path of, you know, Optic, like it's all a matter of sort of centralizing and hyper focusing on the things that are going to get us to where inevitably this space is going to be. And you as the viewer, you as a industry person that's watching this, you have a choice to either be a part of the evolution of esports or you can be a spectator. Both are welcome, and thank you.
Yep. And then even for me too with the show is like I don't want the show to be the only thing I do. You know what I'm saying? Like the show is just such a little part of what I do at the stream. Like we play so many different games. Like I want to be a variety streamer. I want to start posting more on YouTube. Like I want to do all kinds of different things. Like if we're rolling out Warzone, make me Scump and Zinni have been playing Warzone every day. I've been doing GTA streams, just chatting streams, IRL stuff, cooking streams. Like I want to do like so many different things. But I definitely think the Flank was a good starting point coming off the injury
100%.
for sure.
Dude, you don't get a show like that. You don't get a show like that. No one, I mean, people set out to do shows like that and they don't get it. Like the amount of people that think that working hard is all that it's going to take to do this, it's not. Working hard will get you to pay your bills for sure. I think that anybody who works hard enough on YouTube and on content will get to pay their bills. To go beyond that and to sort of separate yourself into your own specific niche, whatever that niche is, like that's what requires a little bit of luck, timing. You know, like there's so many things because just when people say it's like if you set your mind to it, you can do that. If you work as hard as somebody, I can go to the gym today and work as hard as name any basketball player out there, and I'm not gonna have the athletic ability to be able to do that. No matter how hard I work for how I can outwork them every single day. But if I don't have it, I don't fucking have it. It's just not meant to happen to me.
Dude, a lot of it's mental too. Like a lot of it, like for me, like even today, I woke up today for this. This is like the earliest I've ever been up. Like I'm exhausted right now. I don't know if you guys could tell, but it's just like you have days where you're tired, like really, really tired. At least for me, where I wake up and I'm just like, oh my God, like I just did like 12-hour stream. I'm waking up the next day. I'm about to turn my stream on again, and I'm like, dude, like what the heck? Like mentally, you have to, because nobody's gonna, bro. If I get on stream and I'm like low energy and I'm like really, really tired, it's just the stream's gonna be miserable. It's not gonna be the same atmosphere that people are used to. So finding like that willpower to like, you know, get that energy, like get ready to stream every single day can be tough sometimes. But luckily, one thing that helped me is just my supporters, like the chat, like people showing love,
the
like
energy,
people
dude.
coming in. Once the chat comes in with energy, the Zoo Mafia is what I call them. It just lights me up like that. Then I'm just like, it's like being with a group of friends. Like I like having fun on stream. It's just like being with my friends. So shout out to the Zoo Mafia, man.
Yeah, shout out to the Zoo Mafia.
They help a lot, more than they think.
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit about you know, Scum, playing with you, playing with Zin, playing with, because you know, for the longest time, I sort of like not forced, but I sort of like tried to get his teammates to hop on stream with him. Like it is the most logical thing to do, but just people just don't do that. Let me go on a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. this week. DoorDash coming back forever and ever, and certainly appreciate that, especially because I use them on a daily basis, right? Whether I'm stuck here being late, whether I'm traveling, like I can rely on the fact that I'm always going to have a good meal because of DoorDash, right? Sometimes I travel to Los Angeles, I mean, you name it, and I get to just order food, bring it up to my room and eat it there. More often than not, no one is always on the same eating schedule, so to wrangle people up to eat during the day, like that's tough. During the night, obviously it's easier to get reservations, but it's easy and simple. Whether you're working and you're too busy to order food or to prepare food when you get home, one of the best tricks that I found is that if you order DoorDash, by the time that you are about to go home, you can time it almost perfectly to where your driver can drop off your food with the new contactless delivery setting and just have it at your door. So when you get there, your food is ready to go, right? That way, it's makes it seamless, right? And the other thing that's cool about it is whether or not you're all on the same page. So if Matt wants Subway and I want Chipotle and somebody else wants something else, like DoorDash has something for everybody with over 300,000 restaurants across the U.S., Puerto Rico, Canada, and even Australia. Some of your best local restaurants, some of the best national restaurants are all available on this application. And you can get what you want right now, right at your door with DoorDash, along with the restaurants you love. You can also now get groceries, essential items. You need baby wipes, you need something from 7-Eleven, they can go get it, whether it's hand sanitizer, Windex, I mean, you name it. They can get it now with DoorDash. You can get drinks, snacks, and other household items within an hour. Craving a late night ice cream? Forget that one key ingredient for dinner, or maybe you just need to stock up for the week. With DoorDash, you get everything in one application. And right now, for a limited time, our listeners can get 25% off and zero delivery fees on their first order of $15 or more when you download the DoorDash application and enter code EAVESDROP 2021. That is Eavesdrop 2021 when you download the application to get the 25% off up to a $10 value and zero delivery fees on your first order when you download the DoorDash application in the App Store and enter code Eavesdrop 2021. That is EAVESDROP 2021. Get your money right, man. Get your 25% off, subject to change, and terms as always apply. Link in the description down below to make it easy for you to go do that. Remember, it's Eavesdrop 2021 to get you set up right. Next, here we go. ExpressVPN, one of my favorites because we actually use it and it actually works, and we've had bad experiences without having a VPN, right? Because using the internet without ExpressVPN is like walking your dog in public without securing them on a leash. Most of the time you'll probably be fine, but what if one day your dog wanders a bit too far and gets dog napped by someone? You want to know what happens to us? Our biggest pet peeve, our biggest worry when we're walking Henry or one of the dogs is the fact that there are a million rabbits where we are at. And these dogs will let nature get inside of them and they'll just take off. So you don't want that. You want ExpressVPN to protect you. Every time you connect to an unencrypted network in cafes, hotels, airports, your online data is not secure. Any hacker on the same network can gain access and steal your personal data. Passwords, financials, details, etc. And it doesn't take that much technical knowledge to hack someone. Just some cheap hardware is needed. A smart 12-year-old could do it. And your data is valuable, right? Hackers make up to $1,000 per person selling personal information on the dark web. One of the reasons that you should use ExpressVPN is because of the encrypted tunnel. It creates a secured encrypted tunnel that allows you to roam the internet freely without fear of people getting into your network. Especially here in the Hex Quarters when we were competing online, we had to make sure that we were never going to get knocked off. So instead of allowing people to know our IP and kick us offline, what we did is we fired up the ExpressVPN and it kept on bouncing signals from all over the world, so it made it literally almost impossible for hackers to knock us offline, right? It works on all devices, phones, laptops, tablets, and more, so you can stay secure on the go. You fire up the application in one click and one button to get protected. Right now, you can secure your data online today by visiting expressvpn.com/hex. That is expressvpn.com/H3CZ. You can get an extra 3 months for free at expressvpn.com/H3CZ. The link will be in the description down below. Don't forget, that is expressvpn.com/H3CZ to get an extra 3 months for free on the 1 year package. So a huge shout out to DoorDash and ExpressVPN for being a part of the family for so long. They've come back every single week, and certainly cannot appreciate them more. So, as we were talking about people and taking a shot, it reminded me of a quote that says that nothing is more common than unsuccessful people with talent, right? Because it's not just about being good at it. Like, think about the amount of people that are good at it. I always said, if I was at least half as good as a pro player, that I would have been fucking the best YouTuber out there. Because all I was lacking really is the consistency in my gameplay. You know what I mean? Because I want to have the determination. Two, I love creating content. Content is what I set out to do. The CEO had and all the business bullshit just happened to fall on me. How I did what I did, as successful as I did, instincts, because it wasn't knowledge. It was just instincts following my gut and doing the right thing.
Yeah.
But I was never supposed to be the figurehead that I am today. Like, I was a class clown, you know, look at me, I'm funny guy.
Yeah,
you
came
know?
a long way though.
Yeah, but I had to, right? Like, it's like, what do you do when you're put in weird situations? You can either take leadership and take the ball and run with it, or you can sit around and allow somebody else to take it, and you can just go along with the ride.
Right.
Both of them are fine. Some people are meant to be, and I'm not saying this in any formal way of an insulting matter, because it is. Like, not necessarily like a follower is the only way that I can say it. Some people aren't born to be leaders. You know what I mean? And that is okay. As long as you're happy, like, if you have a job where you work 4 hours a day and you are disciplined enough to be able to make a living off of that, working for, like, people in Spain, they work for 6 months and take 6 months off. Because for those 6 months, they make the money that they're needed to be self-sustainable, and they also save enough to be self-sustainable for the other 6 months. Those people are not going to live in a massive fucking house. They're going to live in an apartment. They're going to have their TV. They're going to have their shows, and they're going to have their ability to go out and have a beer with friends. If that's all it takes to make you happy, fucking live your life, man. This new society, and I'm guilty of pushing my players. I'm guilty of pushing my friends. I'm guilty of pushing the hustle porn that people don't like. But I am also very respectful of the fact that I am so happy for the people who have been able to live life without having to go through the stresses and the lack of sleep and all of that comes with my job, right?
It comes with more problems, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there are people out there that just live life, and sometimes I'm jealous of that. You know what I mean? Sometimes I'm jealous of that.
Yeah.
Just having fun and being happy, like, priority number one, man.
Yeah. And that's why I told you before, earlier in the podcast, it's like getting yourself on a better schedule, right? Like, for me, like, I would just be really anxious all the time. Like, my anxiety would be really bad. Like, my sleep would be really bad. Just basically my schedule, like, my lifestyle is just, like, not right, you know? So, like, getting on the right track, getting, you know, I want to start working out, get on a better, you know, get healthier, eat better, you know? Probably, I don't want to stream 12 hours every day for the rest of my life.
No.
Like, I can't do that.
No.
So just finding a balance. I think right now it's just kind of riding the high. Like, I genuinely enjoy streaming.
Yeah.
Like, I love it. Like, I love streaming. So.
Well, it's you have a big responsibility, man. Like, you have been able to do what a lot of people wish, that the millions of people wish that they can do, and that responsibility, like, and I can tell that you understand it because of how passionate you are about the work that you do. But it is a responsibility, because if it's not you, it's going to be someone else, right?
Right.
And it's like you're always going to be, especially now, because people see what you've been able to accomplish. So immediately you're inspiring people to do the same thing. You're immediately inspiring people to become your competitors. That's just the way that it is. It happened with Optic and then Face coming along. It happened with Guggen, the fishing group, and other people that are trying to do what they're doing. It just is competition.
Yeah.
And it's going to either overtake you or make you better, rethink your approach as to how you're doing things. You know, we just did the Phase collab. You got your stuff, I saw.
The Phase Optic stuff, yep.
You know, but what people either don't remember, don't know, or forget is the fact that, you know, Optic was massive by the time that Phase stepped into the game. And if it wouldn't have been for how quickly they got close to us, or how quickly they were able to overtake us, like, years later, I would have been sitting at the top just not giving a shit. I would have not innovated. I would have just been like, why am I going to change something that we're the biggest? I'm not going to change something that's broken. Yeah. I'm just going to keep doing this. But it took somebody to be on my heels. It took somebody to be my equal, and it took somebody to be better to help me reinvent, re-innovate, and do what we did ultimately. Because it helped, man.
The competition makes you better, man. It pushes you. You know, it's kind of like the Cristiano Ronaldo, like Lionel Messi type thing. You know, like they push each other. Like I've heard them talk about it before. Like both of them has said the same thing. Like if Cristiano Ronaldo wasn't a thing, Lionel Messi wouldn't be as good as he was, and vice versa. Like they definitely have that little like mental egging that they play with each other.
Yeah.
Like, they definitely try to be number one.
The funny thing about what you're just saying is that, think about it, right? Like that has happened throughout the history of soccer, football. But for the anomaly that's happening today to happen, where you have Ronaldo and Messi, right? Because what's happening right now should never happen. There should never be two players of that caliber on the same. It'd be like having LeBron, Kobe, and Jordan all playing at the same time in their prime, same age, same everything, all at once. That's what it would have taken to be able to replicate or have some similarities to what's happening right now in football, right? Because that anomaly should never happen. One anomaly, and I don't know why I'm talking Matrix, but one anomaly in Ronaldo, awesome. One anomaly in Messi, awesome. Both of them at the same time, and both of them being as good and as competitive as they are and elevating themselves even more, should never happen. It will never happen again, probably. It's just impossible to.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I'm just lucky that we should all be lucky that we got a chance to witness it. Yeah, to be honest, it's special, man.
Yeah, what people in this day and age need to do at whatever means necessary is go watch them play live, because there is nothing that I regret more than only seeing Michael Jordan play once in a nosebleed. I was a kid, 16 years old. You know what I mean? But if I had a chance to do it all over again, I would try to go to as many games, and I don't care where I'm sitting, to see that happen in person. And I started to think this way when I went to go see Bone Thugs and Harmony, live. One of my favorite rap groups of all time. But to see them live, like, made me feel good, and it made me think at the way that I see everything else. Like, I've seen LeBron play live. I've seen Kobe play. I've seen Michael Jordan play. I never saw Magic Johnson play. That sucks. I never saw Larry Bird play. That sucks. But you have to, if you live in a moment in which there are anomalies happening in whatever sport, whatever music, whatever it is, you have to see it. I'm not the biggest. I like Drake. I understand. I respect everything that he's done. I made it a point to go and see him live, because I know that I would have loved to have seen Michael Jackson live. I would have loved to have seen everybody that became an icon in their respective field live.
Yeah, they inspire you.
Yeah.
At least that's how it is for me.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, and I think that they see it now, right? Like, they are not going to waste the opportunity to go see Scump play live, especially because you don't know when you're retiring. You don't know what players are thinking. You know what I mean? You don't know when the time is going to come. Your thumb, that came out of nowhere, right? Like, you don't know. Like, if I bet you people are like, people who watch the Flank religiously now and massive fans of you would have loved to have a chance to go show you support in person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why people need to get the fuck out, man. Enjoy it.
I agree. Speaking of going to see stuff in person, I mean, we tried rolling out with the IRL Flanks. It failed the first time we did it. It was really good at first. We had like a whole crowd. We had a stage. I had Doug come through, Doug Sensor Martin, and it was working really good. We had the microphones and everything. The stream was going well, but I just think with all the tech and stuff, like, it just collapsed. Like, it just fell. So we got to try and figure out how to do that. You know, that'll be really cool.
Yeah, complicating things and trying to make things more fancy and more high quality sometimes is the wrong thing to do.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Sometimes it's the wrong thing to do.
And ever since that day, I was like, I don't know if I really want to do it. See, it's like a positive and a negative. I like to get out my comfort zone a little bit. Like, I like to do stuff that nobody's doing. Yeah. So to try and do things like that, even if it fails, at least I tried it. You know, I'd rather just not sit back and be like, you know, I didn't try it. You know, I'll never know. You know, I got to at least give it a go. So, you know. Yeah.
What I liked about the Flank is that walk-on moment that you have. Like, I can shoot this podcast in a way in which all you see is us two. But I like to just have people back there walking, right? It gives it the sense of the reality is that there are people here. One of them streaming right now, and something can happen, right? But I can turn these cameras, point that way, and you'll never know that there's other people in the fucking room. Yeah. But that's not the vibe that I'm going for. That's not the vibe that you go for, right? Like, you can have a very disciplined Flank in which you sit down with Ben and you're like, all right, this is what we're going to talk about this hour. This is what we're going to talk. Those, as much as our guides, like that, the beauty of the Flank is that it's like, you just never know who's gonna pop in.
Yeah.
And that's
you really don't.
And you never know what fucking someone's gonna say.
Dude, there's been episodes where Ben and I are like, man, what are we gonna talk about today? Like, there's not much to talk about. And then we after the show be like, bro, that was the best show we've ever done. You know, sometimes it's like you never know what's about to hit you.
Yeah.
But I like that.
Yeah.
You know, you never know what the hell's gonna happen.
So what other moments are your favorite ones from the flank?
Ben almost showed his dick. That was pretty funny.
Explain that.
He almost showed his. I'm sorry. Was that too much?
No, that was good.
He almost showed his. He didn't realize. He didn't realize that the camera was on him. So like before I switched to the flank thing, I'm on my intermission stream just talking to my chat like when I go live. But I had Ben set up on the flank and everything, and I had poked him like, yo, we're starting the show in 5 minutes. Like, get ready, whatever. So I switched to the flank screen, and I'm just playing music, dancing. Like, you know me, I just like to have a good time, you know? So I'm dancing, I'm talking to the chat. Ben doesn't realize that I switched to the flank screen. So he, like, stands up in front of his camera. I don't know why he decided to do this right here, but I guess he was just adjusting his pants.
No.
So he, like, pulled his pants all the way down and was just, like, adjusting, like, his boxers and stuff. But, like, literally, like, no bullshit. I think if the camera was, like, half a centimeter lower, you would have saw everything. And I was like, there's a clip of it, and it's hilarious.
Like him adjusting?
Yeah, just him adjusting his pants, but he pulled them down. Like he legit pulled them down to like fix them.
Ben looks like the dude that would walk up to your urinal, pull his pants all the way down to take a piss.
No, but I felt so bad, so I instantly changed screens and I poked Ben. I was like, oh my god, like the whole chat started going crazy. He didn't show anything, thank God. Yeah, because that would have been really, really bad.
That's the other thing that I love about what you guys have going is that Ben. Fucking salt of the earth dude, super fucking kind, good fucking human.
He's the best,
so for him to be exposed to this level of love from the fans, like, makes me fucking happy.
Yeah, dude, he's walking around taking pictures, signing autographs, like, and he has the biggest smile on his face, and honestly, it makes me happy because he's a good dude. Like, he's a smart guy. He knows a lot about the game, and he works really hard. One thing I like about Ben is like he's so reliable. Yeah. He's a little late sometimes. Yeah. But he's got a job. Yeah. Which also worries me. Yeah, why? Because Ben talks about, you know, like, you know, he might have to do this, do that. Like, he might not be able to do the flank all the time. Yeah. So I'm like, you know, but then that's where Zinni might come in. I'll bring other people on, you know? Yeah, you can't. Like, but Ben is just such a key part. You can't change Ben. You can't change Ben. You can't. You cannot change Ben. Like, Ben is like such a key part to the show. He's your Robin. Yeah, he is. He's really your Robin. He is. It's my duo. Shout out Ben, Jane, and
shout out Ben. I want to shout out Ben because every single time that we open the Hex quarters to have a LAN, he is the only person, no matter what team he was repping, that brought me a drink as a thank you for allowing him to play here. Yeah. He's a good fucking dude. Stand up dude. Put your shoes on. He was repping phase. Yeah, put your shoes on, Ben, when you're walking around.
He actually have no shoes on. He swears. He's like, well, I had my shoes on. I was like, are you sure? Yeah. I don't think so.
I remember I have a camera right there, and he came over here and was just staring at everybody. I'm just like, because I got an alert, I open it, and I see Ben's face like so close. I'm like, Ben. Yeah. Ben.
I love him though, man. He's a man.
I like how knowledgeable he is about fucking everything though too.
He's just a smart guy. Yeah. I mean, see, even when I was on FaZe, like, I was a loose cannon, especially when I was younger. Like, I was still learning a lot, so I was lucky to have Ben. Because Ben taught me a lot, especially growing up. You know, like, Ben definitely helped me, you know, turn into the person I am today. Yeah. I know it sounds a little corny, but he did, you know. So Ben will always have a special place in my heart. And that's why I wanted to do the show with him, too. Yeah. Because of the chemistry. Like, I'm just really close with him. Yeah. So it just fits.
That's so cool that you picked him to do it with.
Like, and it's a good balance. I could have picked anybody to do the show with. Yeah. Literally. And Ben is literally no brand, no nothing. Just like people.
No brand Ben.
Yeah, like 80-90% of the people didn't even know who Ben was. Yeah. But I knew what
everybody knew him in the industry. But the fans didn't get a chance to be introduced to him.
He didn't have a brand. He didn't have anything. Like, I could have just done the show with Zinni. You know what I'm saying? I could have done it with anyone, like another personality. But I think it's a good balance. I think finding the right balance for the show is really, really important. And I think Ben brings, like, the business, the analytics, like the maturity in a way to the show. And then I'm kind of like the energy of it, you know. But I just think the balance of it is really, really good. So I got lucky.
I'm looking at your YouTube channel. Views are amazing. But I see 3 days ago, 5 days ago, 1 week ago. Why isn't that 1 day ago?
Because I have multiple channels. I have a Zuma Clips channel. Yeah. I have my regular Zuma channel, which is where I upload all the flank stuff or just like any well-edited, well-made video that I think is just going to do well. I put on the main. And I recently just made a Zuma VODs channel. Because I've been having problems with people stealing my content, like as I'm streaming. Like people have been stealing all my content, uploading it right away. So we took the VODs down, and my editor has just been downloading all the VODs and uploading it to the Zuma VODs channel, because we want the VODs to be available for everybody, because people love the VODs.
Yeah.
But the content was being stolen. But if you look at the Zuma Clips channel, it's very, very active.
Yeah.
Like we're uploading a lot on there.
Yeah. No, I've been keeping up, obviously.
But that's another thing. Like I think being maybe in LA, like I'd start rolling out with some vlogs. You know, I'll have more people there to do stuff. I'll be with my girlfriend. We can make videos. I'll be with you know, I have some friends down there. Obviously Crowder and Cole and some of those guys that they're interested in making videos. Some of the FaZe guys that they want to make videos. Like, you know, it would be cool to be down there. There's a lot of creators down there. You know. And plus it's LA, so you know it's a lot of fun things to do. So I might start rolling out some vlogs.
I'm not a big fan personally.
Really? You're not a big fan?
At all.
I mean, for
like,
me,
when you say you're moving to LA, in my head I'm like,
really?
Yeah.
See, I'm like, I lived in Jersey, I've lived in New York City, I've lived in Austin, I've lived in Dallas. I figured I'd try for a year.
Yeah, good.
Try for a year, 2 years.
Yeah.
I mean, bro, I might hate it.
What do you think about what do you think about the bubble that's now back up for, you know, to talk about, like the player bubble?
Oh, like they're talking about that?
Well, I mean, everyone's not the league or me. No, I just saw videos where like the bubble and how I was watching one of your videos actually. It was either clips or whatever where people are like, I do a bubble. Oh, maybe it wasn't you. It was the LA Thieves podcast or something. But they were like, would you do a bubble? And like, yeah, I do a bubble. Like, and I regret not doing a bubble last year when we did the online stuff.
Yeah.
Everybody's here, and if we are able to, which we are, to test everybody before they go into the thing, like I do think that we can solve the issue of that. The amount of facilities that are here in Dallas, and I've said this a bunch of times, I think that now more than ever there is an opportunity to, if we don't have LANs or fan attended LANs, that we can still have LANs, because people will know to, you know, chill the fuck out. I'm not saying send people off to a 3-week camp, but I think that if we put our brains together, I think that we could figure out a way to where we could have a LAN league if we need to, where there's no fans.
Yeah.
But you see football, you see.
But some players just don't want to do it.
Yeah, but
but they might have to.
My thing is this, right? Like, obviously, football's back in full force. Everybody's attending. You know, NBA, baseball, like they're all kind of open up, so the conversations on whether or not we are going to be able to should stop. Like, we know that we're going to be able to have fan attended LANs because traditional sports has it, and if they can do it, then we can do it. Obviously their resources and their bottomless pit of money like allows them to be more fluid in the way that they do things, but I think that I don't see an issue why we don't have like LAN all next year.
Yeah, we could definitely make it happen for sure. I've heard some rumors. I mean, I don't want to say it on here because I don't know if it's public information. But I think we'll be on LAN for most of the events. I just don't know how the league matches and stuff. Like, I don't know how it's gonna work next year. I have no idea. I've heard some rumors, but
so the way that I do things here is like I know exactly what's happening, but I've also heard the rumors. I'm okay with talking about the rumors because I didn't say it. Somebody else said it. And I'm just like adding on to that without giving up any, you know, information like that. It's just not my thing, right? Like you, it's not my thing. But I think that, you know, if the rumors are true, and then, you know, this next fourth quarter of this year, the variants and the original whatever of the virus like goes rampant again, and we have to shut down for whatever reason, like fucking hope not. Then I think that we can put our heads together and really, you know, especially now that the majority of the pro players are living here in Dallas, I think that now more than ever is easier to be okay with, you know, putting them in some sort of quarantine within their own place of living that will allow us to have a LAN league.
And it's crazy, like when the league first started, when it's all one franchise, right? Like, it was crazy how everybody was living in the city that they're franchised in and stuff like that. It's crazy to see everybody in Dallas now. You know, like everything happens so quick.
But it would have happened. It would have happened that regardless. Think about Paris. Think about London. Okay, they will never be able to operate out of those cities. They're never going to be able to practice. The only time that they're going to be able to play is when we travel over there. Okay. Aside from that, That was just never going to happen. Inevitably is just, I mean, look at LA. You would think that LA is such a fucking hot spot, but the servers there suck. You saw Surge. You saw what Surge did. You saw what LAG. You know what I mean? Like, I think about the level. And look, again, I'm going back to the player saying, I think that we would have done better if it would have been a LAN league, right? But at the same time, it's like, what were the other options? There are no fucking options.
Yeah.
So when people complain, in my head, I'm like, you can't. Come on, you can't. One, you can't blame the league for trying to keep this thing alive.
They're trying to keep it running. Yeah. And they've done a great job. The league has done a fantastic job to keep it all moving.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
Major props.
What do you think that next year looks like with the rosters? Who do you think has the strongest roster right now?
I mean, FaZe is the best roster right now, for sure.
Until unproven. Well, okay. So FaZe aside, second best roster. Are there room? I mean, have all rosters been confirmed? I know we haven't confirmed the roster, but have other people confirmed?
Not really. We haven't confirmed ours yet.
Yeah,
LA Thieves confirmed theirs. Yeah. There's rumors and stuff, obviously.
What do you think about the LA Thieves roster?
I like it. I like the LA Thieves roster.
Yeah.
I think one thing that worries me is that maybe like a pacing type thing. Like, I don't know how much pace they're going to have up top, with the subs. One thing you can't take away from them is their subs are really good. Like, Envoy's an incredible player.
Yeah, I think he's gonna help him with the speed that you're talking about.
Envoy's like one of my favorite players.
Same.
I'm like a really big fan of Envoy.
Same.
And then Draws is a really good player as well. Like, having them two up top. I worry about how they're gonna work together, because when you're playing Simp and Abizi, like, or you're playing, I don't know, Shotzi, Illy, like some of these like fast, aggressive, like they just work so quick. It's just to find that way now to win consistently, like, you have to be able to match that aggression, in my opinion. You can still beat teams like FaZe. Like, you can catch FaZe on bad days and stuff, but if FaZe is playing at the pace that they're playing at and they're not skipping a beat, like, they're going to smoke you unless you match it, It's almost like back in the day when Optic was a dynasty, right, in AW. And we were on FaZe, and we were like, how the hell are we going to beat these guys? Like, it's almost like trying to build a team to beat them. And I feel like that's what a lot of people are doing. Like, a lot of teams are like, how can we beat FaZe? Like, they're trying to, like, match it up. And I know some people don't like thinking like that. Like, some people are just like, just build the best team we could possibly build. But at the same time, I feel like FaZe is, like, on their way to being a dynasty if they're not already a dynasty. I feel like their ceiling is just higher than any other team in the league.
I think that if you're not thinking about how you make your team better to beat that team, you're not thinking the right way. Whether you're trying to build the best roster possible or whatever, no, you gotta find the anti-venom for that. You know what I mean? Like, they had a very dominant year. The fact that people weren't building teams to compete with my dynasty when that was going around, that was also mind blowing, right? Because players, as you've said, have a lot of power. Right, and I for one am happy that some organizations are doing it the right way. I'm glad that some organizations come from outside of Call of Duty, where they don't baby their players the way that we sort of like baby our players. So having that sort of infrastructure where, like, hey, look, I know that this is how Call of Duty's done, but legally, I don't have to let you go anywhere. If anything, I can sit you on the fucking bench. Yeah, some fans are gonna be mad, but I don't give a shit. Like, what are they gonna do? Be mad and what? Not buy my T-shirt that they weren't already fucking buying? You know what I mean? It's like it just doesn't make sense, right? If you're not building something to compete with that, like, your job should be right now to not allow them to become the dynasty. Right. You should get in the way of that.
If they're not already a dynasty, that's a whole conversation in itself.
Yeah.
I personally think they're a dynasty. In my opinion, I do. I've said this on the Flank before. I've said it on stream. I mean, I just feel like 2 years now, like, their average placing is like top two for 2 years in a row. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a pretty crazy thing, especially when you look down the list and look at the teams and look at the competition, especially with the rumored rosters that I'm all hearing, right? I put them all on the table. I look at all of them. I'm like, holy shit. Like, COD is just getting better and better and better. Yeah. And some people are like, COD are dying. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, bro, if you think COD is dying, then you're not a fan of COD. Because, like, I'm, like, more excited than ever to like, this next season coming up. Like, I'm like, I'm ready for this shit,
Look, if business didn't get in the way of Call of Duty the way that it's in the way right now, whether it's relationships with networks or whatever it is, if business wasn't in the way, I think that we would be in one of the most exciting times in Call of Duty. It wouldn't be as favorable to the players because they wouldn't be getting paid what they're getting paid right now. But I think that where we're going right now, and look, I think that FaZe would have had the same amount of success on LAN that they did online. I firmly believe that. But it sucks that they're gonna have that asterisk. I saw somebody talking about Mickey Mouse rings. Like, is that because
they won champs on LAN?
Yeah, they did 100%.
What did they listen? Those guys have 2 rings on LAN now. Like a BZ, Sim, Celian has a ring now. Alec has 2 rings. Like, bro, these guys are still so young. Like, Sim's average placing is like top 2, top 3 since he's coming to the league. Like, that kid is on board to being
one of the greatest.
One of the greatest. Yep. One of the greatest for sure.
But is being one of the greatest because of your talent going to be enough?
No, it might not. I think. Well, Sim for me. Are you talking about like he needs to like?
Who's gonna be the next Scump?
Scump is a different breed, man. Scump is like the perfect combination of talent, but also personality. Like, bro, I know it's best because I play with Scump, and I'm just like, I love playing with fucking Scump because he's just funny. Like, I had him on GTA last night. I don't know if you guys saw Seth on GTA last night, but it was like fucking hilarious. But it's just that's the problem is like finding that person who can do both.
Yeah.
Right. And Simp does well, like uploading. Like he's definitely consistent with it. My critique to Simp would probably just to be more energy, add more energy to it. But
if he does, that's not him.
Right.
It's just content. It's such a fucking puzzle. Like,
but then there's people like TP who are like super monotone. Like people like that.
Yeah.
Like it's you just have to be yourself.
100%.
Just be yourself. I don't want Simp to be like not him.
Yeah, me either.
Like even for me on stream, like
it'd be a disservice to him. I think that he would say if he started to switch up who he is, that's another job. You have to put on for a camera. Like you have to be not you on camera.
Right.
Like the people on YouTube, one of the biggest mistakes is when they start acting on camera differently than who they are on a daily basis. Because now you're sort of forced to act up.
No, you just can't do it for a long time. Like if I wasn't being myself on stream, I'd be miserable.
Yeah.
Like it would be so hard to fake and act all the time. Some people think it is an act sometimes when I'm having fun. People just don't know me when I'm having fun. They're just seeing it a lot more now.
Bro, my hardest thing is not being angry. Not having the freedom to vent. You know what I mean? I have so many opinions about so many fucking things that sometimes I find it tough to not in the moment. Because it's not. I'm not walking around like fucking wanting to yell at everybody, right? But in the moment where I'm having like, there's been times on the Optic podcast where I've just fucking let loose, and I just need to blow up. Matt, how many times have I done it? Quite a few times. But then we just cut it. We save it because what the fuck I was saying there, I'm gonna re-upload in 3 to 4 years, and people are gonna be like, I wish we would have heard that from Hector.
Yeah.
I wish we would have heard that honesty. But that honesty comes with a lot of people suffering a little bit from my, from my opinion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because but they would also benefit from it because they would be on a different path to go somewhere else. So I'm constantly fighting like, can I be honest and say things the way that I want to say it? I think that my personality would fucking benefit from me being as brutally honest, but with good intention,
right,
to get that done.
Yeah. And that's the difference with streaming and uploading on YouTube too, is like there'll be takes that I'll say, like sometimes my emotions, I'll say something, and then after I say it, it's like, oh man, maybe I shouldn't have said that. But like at the same time, I also don't want to hide back. Like I don't want to like be in my shell. Like I want to express what I'm feeling. Like I don't want to like try and be somebody I'm not.
No, that's my advice to anyone who's trying to do this thing is like, be yourself, because everything else you're gonna hate it. You're gonna hate everything that you do.
Yeah. The worst comments are the ones that think you're fake when you're being yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like I had it yesterday. I made a Reddit. I made a Zoo Mafia Reddit. So every day on stream, I'll scroll through the Reddit and stuff. And like one of the posts was like, "This is all just an act. Like this is not how he actually is." And I was like, listen, man, like you can go watch videos of me when I was 17, 18. Like I was acting the same way. I was doing the same thing. Now it's just I'm doing it full time now. People see me every day, having fun, and people just, just didn't know how I actually was.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's been good.
It's those who aren't doing it are like the best judges, I think. You know what I mean? It's
they
judge
you. They judge you. Yeah.
It's like fucking beauty pageants, right? Where here comes Mrs. or Miss Columbia and Miss whatever. Beautiful women, smart women. But here you have a fucking ugly fucking dude, you know what I'm saying, who would fucking do bad things to himself to be able to have a shot at having even a conversation with them, judging them. You know what I mean? You have like not as attractive people saying, "Oh, like her nose is not, whatever." And I'm not saying that they're not good judges. I'm just saying like.
I just don't think we should be judging people. I just
like
don't
mind your fucking business.
I just don't think there's a need to judge people. I think for me is the positives always outweigh the negatives. It's just not looking at the negatives. You have to just like block it out. Don't look at it. Just be yourself and stay true to yourself because that's all that matters. Yeah. And as for me, it's way more love than hate.
Yeah.
So I'm very lucky, very blessed.
Well, man, I got to tell you, I'm happy for you. I'm proud of you. I'm so glad that you've done what you've done because not only are you benefiting from it yourself, but you're also inspiring people that will eventually, hopefully, try to take the same leap of faith that you did, and hopefully find the same success that you did. Because I do believe that there is still plenty of room for the next 5 years, for the next 10 years. There's still plenty of room for people to not only reinvent themselves, but to define who they are and what role they want to play in this emerging esports space.
Well, that means a lot coming from you, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, sure. I don't like to hear that, personally.
I mean, listen, man, it's just being realistic. I mean, like, people like you, Nate, you guys paved the way for us. I was showing fucking videos of you and Nate shot to my mom when I was 17, 18 trying to do it, like, to convince her.
Yeah.
So, it's crazy that I'm fucking here. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you really think about it, we've known each other for a long time.
Yeah.
But, just thinking back to, a decade ago when I was showing my mom videos and Nate shot and, like, him with the Red Bull, I was like, look, Mom, he's with Red Bull. It's just crazy. So you guys paved the way. And, what I'm doing wouldn't have been possible without you and everybody else.
You're adding pavement to that way, dude.
And that's what I want to do. I want to make a mark.
Yeah.
Like, I want to make a mark for sure.
Yeah.
Even with the subliners, like, still with them, like, still doing my thing with them, I feel like it's good to be a part of a brand that I can help grow, because it's fairly new. It's very new. It's a 2-year-old brand, so getting into something early, like I was one of the first people on it, just to kind of build a brand. It's cool, man. It's cool. Yeah. And you definitely inspired me, so.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Well, hopefully this won't be the last time that you're on the podcast. So hopefully next time that you're here, you're at like 50,000 subs. Fucking 30,000 people average.
That'd be crazy, man.
So don't give me the cold shoulder, motherfucker, when you fucking blow the fuck.
No, absolutely not, man. Of course not. But that's the goal, is to keep raising the bar and just keep working hard.
I think you have it well within you to be able to do that. So I appreciate you, man. Thanks so much for stopping by. I know that you woke up super early, so I certainly appreciate that. I know you got a lot of packing to do, so we'll see you there. Everybody else, thank you so much for tuning in. All of this information is going to be in the description down below. Shout out to our sponsors of the podcast today, and we'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.
Cool.